I just got nervous right now. So.
Why? Why would you be nervous? Don't be nervous.
This is what it's like?
Yes, this is exactly what it's like.
YouTube famous?
YouTube famous. Perfect. All right. Ow! Fuck! I cut my nail on my shorts!
I hope that's in the blooper reel before the video starts.
Hey y'all. It has been a very, very, very long time since I posted my last video. And as you can see, I have a guest with me today. Josh, introduce yourself to my lovely subscribers.
Hi subscribers, I'm Josh Penrod. I'm gay, I'm queer, I'm a friend of Kylie's. One thing we bonded over was our lack of being straight. I am pretty active in the community where we both live, and I am a founder of our local equality group. We're the first one in our area, and we had our first ever Pride in our area, and it was a big deal for us. It was making history, so it was a real honor to be a part of that. I'm also a photographer, and I also do a bit of graphic design work on the side. You can follow me on Instagram as josh.penrod.
And I will leave a link in the description below of his fantastic work if you'd like to check it out, because he's pretty freaking good at his stuff. As Josh said, neither of us are straight. I actually this is technically my coming out video on YouTube.
Congratulations!
I know.
Yay!
So, I'm asexual, which is obviously what the title of this video is going to suggest. I've been out for about 2 years, officially. Though I've kind of identified as asexual for 5 years now. But yeah, 2 years ago is when I came out on social media, and then everyone's like, oh, that's why you're you. So today is actually the beginning of Asexual Awareness Week, which takes place like the second to last week in October or something like that. This year it's gonna be October 21st through the 27th. I got Josh here because, as he said, he is a queer man, and he has been awesome about accepting my asexual ranting since I first came out to him when I first moved here. He's been awesome about it, and as an allosexual man, I figured he'd be good to ask me questions about asexuality. So I asked him to figure out questions that he may have had when he first met me, or that he thought were questions that still needed to be addressed in the asexual community. I feel pretty awesome because he said it was hard because I educated him so well. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so
yes.
when I first met you and we got together and had our fateful Chinese friend date, it was just kind of I knew nothing about it. And and all I had for information on asexuality was what was represented in the mainstream media and in pop culture. And from what I had seen, I had seen a Netflix documentary about it, and they just depicted asexuals as these sort of just frumpy people that don't give a care about how they look, that are just totally they painted them like they didn't have sex and that they weren't able to have relationships because of this, that it was a real block in their lives. For me, being LGBTQ is embracing things that make us different. And so and asexuality is a part of the spectrum. So it's different from the heterosexual norm, so we should be more inclusive about that. Gay people, queer men, I see you.
Okay.
That was awesome.
We can't hang out anymore.
No, we can't.
Disclaimer, these questions that Josh is gonna ask me, the answers I have to them are exclusively from my own experiences and my own perspective. I do not speak for the full asexual community. I speak from myself.
All right, what is asexuality?
So asexuality specifically is the sexual orientation where people do not experience sexual attraction or rarely experience it. That is legit all it entails, is the lack of sexual attraction to a hoop.
Does being asexual mean you don't like sex?
No. That would be something along the lines of sex repulsion. Sex repulsion is common in asexuality, but legit anyone from any sexual orientation can not like sex. A gay man cannot like sex. A straight woman cannot like sex. An asexual can be super sexually active and like sex.
How are you attracted to people if it's not sexually?
So I personally am heteroromantic, so I experience romantic attraction to men. And that entails sort of my own attraction to people has never been sexually driven. So I can appreciate how someone looks, but it's not attracted to any sexual feelings. So I kind of say it's like looking at a piece of art. You can like look at a piece of art and admire and value its beauty, but you don't want to screw the piece of art.
The way I finally understood it was you admire it for other qualities other than sexual quality. Like immediately sexually attracted to it, like I am to men. You are attracted to it based off of many other different factors. Next question! Yay!
Yay.
Insert applause here. In an instance when you tell them you're asexual, how do people normally react when you tell them you're asexual?
I have gotten many different reactions to coming out to certain people. I started coming out to close friends in 2013, shortly after I figured out what asexual was. I knew I was somewhere on the spectrum, but I still was kind of figuring it out. So one of the first ones I remember hearing from a close friend of mine. Hi. Everyone remember Blythe?
Hey.
So say like one of the first friends I came out to, she asked me, she's like, well, isn't that selfish? Because she thought I was referring to the fact that I was just going to deny, like if I were to marry an allosexual person, that I would deny them sex. That's a completely different topic in itself, but that was the first thing she said to me. I've had people fully embrace it. I've had people be like, really? Tell me more. What does this mean? I've had people think they understand it, and then I say something about wanting to be in a relationship, and they're like, wait, aren't you asexual? And I'm like, yeah. That doesn't mean I don't want to be in a relationship. My own mother asked me if I was afraid of rejection, and that's why I was asexual. And then I've also been told I give off a gay vibe as well.
Well, and also like a lot of people, when I was researching questions for this, because you educated me so much, I'm sure some people have said like, well, how do you know if you haven't had sex?
Right.
And it's just like, you just know.
Right.
It's like I knew I was queer from, I mean, I knew it before I even knew what queer was. I just knew I was different that way.
Right.
And so it's,
yeah, when usually straight people are the ones who ask me, well, how do you know if you've never had sex or anything like that? And you know, a straight woman asked me that, I said, well, have you ever had sex with a woman? Well, no. Well, then how do you know that you're straight?
how do you wish people would react to you coming out as asexual, or just other people that come out as asexual?
I wish if they didn't know anything about it that they wouldn't automatically jump to, well, you have a hormonal imbalance, or it's just that you haven't found the right person yet. But it'd be nice if people wouldn't jump to automatic conclusions and just sit back and ask non-evasive questions.
Do asexual people desire relationships? Do they date? Can they fall in love?
Yes, yes, and yes. We are such a sex-centric society that we automatically think love equals sex. Even though we've been like on this like sexual liberation movement for decades where, you know, you don't have to love somebody to have sex with them. It seems that you have to experience sexual attraction to be in love, which is totally not the case. I would like a romantic relationship because I'm romantically attracted to men. There are asexuals who don't want any of that. They don't like want to be in romantic love. They may value, you know, being in a platonic relationship with someone. That doesn't mean they don't love that person. Romantic love isn't any stronger or any better than like platonic love or sexual love.
What is it like to live in a very hyper sex-centric society then for you?
For me personally, it doesn't bother me so much because I'm a sex positive asexual. So I'm not sex repulsed. For asexuals who are sex repulsed, any sexual orientation of a person who is sex repulsed, I can imagine that could be pure hell because you can't like get away from it. The whole sex sells thing in media, it doesn't really work on me. And it's not like we're better than people either.
No.
And people think that that's kind of like we have like this holier than thou like situation because, oh, we don't experience sexual attraction, so we're like better than you. And that's definitely not the case. There are asexuals who kind of have that attitude, and I'm quick to give them a slap across the face. Not literally.
So like people sort of automatically treat them like they're Puritans almost?
Yeah, like we kind of get like pigeonholed into this holier than thou virgin bullshit. And like I said, there's asexuals, like people are like, oh, I don't experience sexual attraction, so I'm like somehow a higher intellectual than everybody else. Is like, no, you're not. You are just a wonderment that you just don't experience sexual attraction. That's legit all there is to you. You're not special. Coming from a fellow asexual.
Is there a spectrum to asexuality?
Yes. And human sexuality in itself is a nice, big, long spectrum. And specifically asexuality. And that's what I love about being asexual, is it helped me understand human sexuality a lot more. And helped me actually kind of identify with other sexual orientations a lot more. I mean, you can be super asexual in the fact that absolutely no sexual attraction ever in your life. You can also be aromantic, so you don't experience romantic attraction at all either. And then we have what we call gray aces, gray asexuals, or like we say graces sometimes too because it sounds cool. Gray asexuals, which I kind of identify in myself because asexual sometimes feels a little too restrictive for me personally. Gray asexuals are somewhere between asexuality and allosexuality. So they may experience sexual attraction, but it's just very, very rare. And then you have the allosexuals, like Josh.
So what is the difference between asexuality and sex drive?
So as I always tell people, sexual orientation is the who you're attracted to. Sex drive, sexual libido, sexual desire, that is in reference more to the action of sex. So the what, rather than the who. Sexual orientation is only in regards to who you're sexually attracted to. Sex drive is like kind of like your body, like woo, sex. Sex, the act, is great sometimes. Whatever. I have a libido. Sex talk. So asexuals oftentimes get alienated if, you know, they have a sex life, or if they have a libido or anything like that, because asexuals shouldn't have sex. That is not right. Anyways, so the metaphor that I often use to explain to people about sexual attraction, specifically with sex drive and, you know, why we may choose to have sex, is the fact that you are hungry, okay? You're hungry, you want to eat food. There's food around, but none of it looks appetizing. It will never look appetizing. You can choose to eat the food to not be hungry anymore. Like, we can still be aroused, we can experience sexual pleasure. It's just the fact that we aren't sexually attracted to that person. Because if they do a good job in bed, that has nothing to do with us being attracted to them.
Are asexuals a part of the queer community?
Yes. Yes, we are, whether you like it or not. That came out a little abrasive, but that's something we've been dealing with the last couple of years, is the fact that we want to be a part of the rest of the LGBTQ group, and we have people come in and be like, well, you're not oppressed enough, and you don't experience oppression like we do, so you don't belong here.
It's not an oppression contest.
Yeah, we also run into the issue where people are like, well, asexuals can be in here except heteroromantic asexuals. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
Where can people go for more information on asexuality?
So my biggest information base for asexuality is just to go to aven.org.com. I'll put a link down in the description below, and I'll also put it at the bottom of this page so you can just look at it. AVEN stands for Asexuality Visibility and Education Network. That's how I found out all my information. I also just Googled a lot of stuff and watched a certain couple YouTubers. I'll also link them down in the description below if I remember. But that's definitely what helped me, and that's honestly your best bet. Thank you everyone so so much for watching this. Be sure to go do your own research and information on asexuality if you want. Like I said, I'll link Aven below in the video description. Thank you, Josh, for being a part of this video. You were awesome. I hope to see you back again soon.
I hope to be back.
So anyways, guys, leave a like, comment, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I am over 1,000 subscribers. Woot woot. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Damn, son, isn't that enough?